start with the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent, the most merciful. Dear students of class first year, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you in Pakistan International School Taif's virtual learning system. Hope, dear students, you all are well and good and working hard with your studies. Dear students, today we have English lecture number 17. This is grade first year, and we are going to learn today Unit 21, The Road Not Taken. It's a poem, dear students. The writer of the poem is Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken, and page number 196 to 202. And here's your teacher, Sarfraz Nadeem. Dear students, I wanted to add over here that this is Unit 21, and after this lecture, we have Unit 22, and that would be the last unit of the course, Unit 22. So this is second last, and we are according to the Federal Board's reduced and revised syllabus. So let's start our Unit 21, The Road Not Taken. Here we have, dear students, the unit outcomes. The students will be able to know after the reading. Use critical thinking to respond orally and writing to the text. Give a personal opinion and justify stance related to viewpoints, ideas, and issues in the text. Relate what is read to his or her own feelings and experiences. Scan and answer short questions. So read a given poem and give orally in writing. Theme and its development. Personal response with justification. Recognize and use varying intonation patterns and use various reference sources to refine vocabulary of interpersonal academic workplace, apply rules of capitalization, and illustrate use of punctuation marks wherever applicable. So this is the unit outcomes, dear students. The students will be able to know about these things after the completing of this unit, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. So let's start the poem. Here, dear students, this is the road not taken. This is page number 197 according to your book. And definitely you have opened your book. So this is same on page number 197. Four stanzas are given. So we will learn stanzas one by one with the explanation as well. The road not taken, stanza number one is two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now, dear students, this is the stanza number one about the 5 lines, and then we have explanation over here. So I will explain this stanza before you, and I think after the explanation, you will be able to understand the stanza very well. Once the poet was walking down a road, and then there was a diversion. There were two different paths, and he had to choose one out of them. The poet says that as he was one person, he could travel on one road only. He had to choose one out of these two roads. Yellowwood means a forest with leaves which are wearing out and they have turned yellow in color. The season of autumn. It represents a world which is full of people, where people have been living for many years. They represent people who are older than the poet. The poet kept standing there and looked at the path very carefully as far as he could see it. Before taking the path, he wanted to know how it was. Was it suitable for him or no? He was able to see the path still from where it curved, after which it was covered with trees and was hidden. It happens in our life also when we have choices, we have alternatives, but we have to choose only one out of them. We take time to think about the pros and cons, whether it is suitable for us or not, and only then we take a decision on what path we should choose. So, dear students, this is the explanation of the stanza which is given over here. And let's have a look the stanza number 2. Here then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better clam, because it was grassy and wanted wear, thou is for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. So the explanation of this stanza is the poet kept on looking at one path for a long time to check if it is the right path for him or not, and then he decided and started walking on another path because he felt that the both paths were equally good. He says just as fair, so he felt that both paths were equally good and started walking on one of them. He adds that maybe he felt that the path was better for him, so he chooses it as it had grass on it, which means that it was unused. Not many people had walked on this path earlier. That is why this path was grassy. And wanted wear means that it was not walked over by many people. After he walked on the path for some distance, he realized that both the paths had been worn out the same way. Both the paths were similar and worn out. Even in our life, we take only path or option, but all of them have the same benefits, disadvantages, problems, challenges, and we must face them. We think that we are choosing a better option, but it is not that way. Now, dear students, in easy words, it is quite uh, crystal clear that when you are on the way, there are lots of choices, and sometimes you have two choices to select one only, and it sometimes it becomes quite difficult for you to select one. And once we are what we are doing two things. One, people are going to decide such a way that is used for the many people, and once there is a way which is not used by many people. So it's all about the person's choice, that what is he is going to select. But sometimes we think that which one is easy and short way to reach the destination, we select that one. But I think nothing is easy in the world, and when you want to achieve your goal and destination for life, you have to sacrifice, you have to work hard, you have to struggle. So nothing is impossible, everything is possible, but with hard working and with plenty of challenges and barriers, you have to fulfill that way, or you have to cross these all the challenges. Stanza number 3, dear students, and both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Now, here we have, dear students, the stanza number 3 and the explanation of number 3. The poet says that both the paths were similar that morning, both had leaves on them, and no one had stepped on them as they were still green in color. He decided that the day he would take one path and keep the other path for another day, although he knew that one way leads on to another way. He knew that he could not go back on the choice that he had made. Similarly, even in our life, once we choose an option, we must keep on moving ahead with that option, and we never get the chance to come back and take the other option that we had left earlier. So here means, dear student, whatever the choice has been uh, taken by us, or whatever the way has been adopted, whatever the goal has been set, we have to move over on that path, goal for further. We shouldn't be back and start another way, because hard work is a key of success. And if you have that key, the goal is with you. Stanza number 4, here we have, dear students, I shall be telling this with a say, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Here we have the last stanza, dear students. I think it's quite easy to understand. What we have an explanation that he says, the poet says that in the future, he will take a deep breath and say that once upon a time he had reached such a point in life that there were two options for him, and he traveled on that road which had been traveled upon by lesser number of people. Means he will select such kind of department, such kind of way which will not be used, which will not be taken by the many people, are a lesser number of people have been selected. That decision of his decided his future. Similarly, in future, when you grow up, then you will say that once upon a time when you were young, you had two options. The choice that you made you what you became of it. This is a very strong message for all the students, that you should be wise and be careful while making choices out of the options that you have in your life, because your future depends on the choice that you make today. This is very important and clear message to you, my dear students, that very strong message for all the students, that you should be wise and be careful while making choices, decisions out of the options that you have in your life, because your future depends on the choice that you make today. So this is very much for all the students. When you are going to select your field, that select, but think 100 times and ask from yourself in which field you are interested. When you are interested, then don't, and when you are going to adopt and select that field, then don't look back. Go ahead, move and move. You will achieve your goal of life. This is a main theme of this uh, poem, The Road Not Taken. Dear students, here we have a theme or central idea of the poem, or you can say the conclusion of this poem is that the poem, The Road Not Taken, offers a profound perception into the process of decision making. The traveler at the crossroads of the diverging roads is symbolic of an individual at a decisive moment in his life's journey. His decision or choice of future action is of utmost significance, since the decision decides his destiny. The poet Robert Frost, through this poem, asserts the importance of the right decision at the right time in life. We have to make our choices. Sometimes we have to make these choices without the full understanding of the state of affairs. Even then, we should arrive at decision only after carefully considering all the available options. We may regret our choice or we may be excited about our choice, but the choice at the crucial moment will determine and change the path of our life. This is a very important line, dear students, that but the choice at the crucial moment will determine and change the path of our life. Hence, the poem stresses the need for deep and critical analysis of the situation before we arrive at of life transforming decision. So this is the theme and central idea of the poem, The Road Not Taken. About the poet, dear students, we have Robert Lee Frost, born in March 26, 1874, and died January 29, 1963, was an American poet known for his realistic depictions of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech. Frost frequently wrote about settings from rural life in New England in the early 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. Robert Frost's most famous poems included The Gift, Outlet, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and Bridges, Mending Wall, The Road Not Taken, and Nothing Gold Can Stay. So this is the introduction about the poet. Here we have, dear students, the words given ever, the difficult words meaning, and then we have reading comprehension. Answer the following questions. So, dear students, this is all. Try to write the answers after the careful reading or go through from the poem. Now we have, dear students, a vocabulary. Here we have and grammar. First exercise we have about the vocabulary. Find the meaning of the following internet related words. I think everyone is much interested nowadays uh, in internet. So in a dictionary, identify their part of speech and then fill in the blanks. Check their pronunciation in the dictionary with the help of the pronunciation key. So here we have, dear students. Then we will say we have few words given over here like spam, virus, and messages and fraudulent. These are given over here. Board, username, filter, anti-spam. So these words we have to use in these blanks you can see over here after the careful reading. So let's start from number one. I was about to give somebody my account number over the phone when I realized it was a dash attempt to get my personal information. So what will be in this, dear students? Here will be fraudulent. Number two, if you use and dash, your mailbox won't get so full of trash mail. So use anti-spam. Number three, every morning I have to empty my mailbox of unwanted dash, unwanted message, yeah, or messages in other words. I have decided to open a new email account and give the address only to the few friends who usually write to me. Number four, I signed up to that baseball website last weekend. I wanted to choose Dash, the username Babirus, but someone else had already chosen it. So I choose Baseball Joe instead. Number five, I don't know the answer to that question, but if you have a little time later, go on to that carry board, ask there. Every time I have a knowledgeable people on that side. I have a question, I receive an answer within 20 minutes. There are so many knowledgeable people on that site. Number six, last, be careful when you open attachments that come with the email because you might put a virus onto your computer even if a friend sent you the email. So these were the vocabulary. And then we have a grammar section. The students use appropriate punctuation marks in the following sentences. Dear students, in grammar exercise A, we have sentences given like we had a great time in Malaysia. The kids really enjoyed it. Now, what we have to do, we have to rewrite these sentences again with the punctuation marks where necessary. Semicolon, full stop, comma, inverted commas, or semicolon, underscore, score like this. We have to given. So I have already written these sentences for you. Let's have a look over there. And then, dear students, this is exercise B as well over here. What we have to do in exercise B, put in the semicolon, colons, dashes, quotation marks, italics, use and underline, and parentheses wherever they are needed in the following sentences. Here we have sentences as well. Now we have to put the colon, dashes all over here in these. So I have done both exercise for you, and even few sentences are given you as a homework. So let's have a look over there what we have in our next slide. This is exercise A. Use appropriate punctuation marks in the following sentences. Number one, we had great time in Malaysia. Kids really enjoyed it. So you can compare and exercise what the sentence is given and how they are given over here. What is the difference between these two? Number two sentence, some people work best in the mornings, others do better in the evenings. Number three, what are you doing next weekend? Number four, a mother had to go into the hospital. She had heart problems. Number five, did you understand why I was upset? And number five, dear students, no question mark is given in the sentence. Here we have given the question mark. Number six, it is a fine idea. Let's hope that it is going to work. And number seven, we will be arriving on Monday morning. Dash at least, comma, I think so. So, comma, dash has been used for us, but actually in the sentence is not used. Number eight, a textbook can be wall. So it is commas are given over here between teacher and class. And number nine, the girl's father sat in a corner. So girls apostrophe is given. It shows the kind of possession. So this is possession noun, in other words, girl's father. And number last 10, in the words of Murphy's law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So commas are given over here. Apostrophe is given in Murphy's law. So this is kind of a change in this exercise. Here we have exercise B, put in semicolon, colon, dashes, quotation marks, italics, use and underline, and parentheses wherever they are needed in the following sentences. So, dear students, we have done for you. The man in question, Abrar, Nizam, and Iftikhar are given in the inverted commas, deserve awards. Number two, several countries participated in the airlift, Italy, Belgium, France, and Luxembourg. And number three, there is no room for error. So we have to double check every calculation. And number four, Judge Carswell, later be nominated for the Supreme Court, had ruled against civil rights. Number five, in the last weeks in New Yorker, one of my favorite magazine, I enjoyed reading Leland's article, How Not to Go Camping. So, dear students, here we have given the sentences and they are definitely changed. We have put the semicolons, colon, dashes, quotation marks where they are necessary. Yes, Ayan said, I'll be home by 10. Number seven, there was only one thing to do and study till dawn. And number nine, Montaigne wrote the following: a wise man never loses anything if he has himself. Number nine, the following are the primary colors red, blue, and yellow. And 10, arriving on the A10 plan were Mera, my old roommate, her husband, and Mustafa, their son. So, dear students, 10 sentences are done by me. 10 is your homework from 11 to 20. You have to use these columns and like punctuation marks, and then you have to send to me and let me check your work. Hope so you understood the things. This is your homework from the 10, 11 to 20 sentence your work, homework, and try to use these punctuations within the sentences to make them clear, crystal in meaning and in uh, infrastructure of the sentence. Dear students, what is the homework? Definitely the homework is about the grammar exercise, exercise B from sentence number 10 to sentence number 20. Next lecture will be the last lecture, dear students, inshallah, and that will be the unit 22, the progress. This is one act play, the progress, unit 22, and this is the last lecture, inshallah, a coming one about the play. This is all about today's lecture, dear students. If you have any query, any problem, you can ask me through Zoom meeting after this lecture, or you can text me through WhatsApp. And if you have a hope so you understood all things properly and practice maximum perfect, we will go through from the text, we'll read again and again. Things will be quite easy for you, dear students. Thank you for joining, and Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.